right, guys, welcome back to the Side Dish Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Shin, joined as always by my co-host, Jay Lee.
Hello.
And our two very special guests, Justin Kim and Elena Kim.
Hello.
Who are married, but were both
Hello.
Kims independently before they even got married.
It's true.
That's true.
Welcome back to Korea, guys.
Thank you. Glad to be back on TST.
On today's solid dump. What's TST? Oh, the side dish.
What the fuck?
I was like, what? Is that a time zone? Like, what?
The solid dump. Okay. Yeah, the side dish.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, man. Just to update listeners, I was in America for about a month, and Jay's been busy moving apartments and doing all this stuff. So, just to recap, on my end, going to America was pretty boring. One fun thing about going to America was I stayed at my parents' house for like the entire month, and my high school friends came to visit. Drove 3 hours down from San Francisco, and they brought camping gear, and they legit like just camped on our property.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what?
And we started drinking beers and smoking weed at like 8 a.m. for the two consecutive days. And my mom just goes, "Oh, so they're like your friends are just like you." Like I thought you were the only.
Realized?
Yeah, she was like, "I thought you were the only one who does this delinquent bullshit, but like everyone does." And I was like, "Yeah, like this is very normal, like hanging out behavior."
But these are like older people with like families and shit now, right?
No, so the two friends that we're visiting are actually still single.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually funny. We're all like, yeah, we're just like stoner, alcoholic Asian guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my mom's like, "Oh, they remind me of you." I don't know what it is, but they remind me of you.
Did it feel like you were in like high school again, pretty much?
Yeah, 100% just like high school.
Do you find that when you're with your parents, you revert back to your childish self?
So that's a good question, but no, I don't.
Oh, really?
Because I think my relationship with them has advanced from the dynamic I had as a kid. It's actually super different. So if I
Okay.
did act like I did as a kid, it would throw off the energy.
Got it.
But
Interesting.
definitely my mom is like when my homies were around was like, "Were you that boy who blah 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 blah?" Like she's like trying to piece it together. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's more fun for my mom. Like she kind of reverts back to when I was in high school, and it's like remembering all this stuff. So Jay, how was your move to Haebangchon, bro?
It was a process. I lived by myself, and my old apartment was just like a 1-bedroom. And I didn't think I had that much stuff, but yeah, when you move, you realize you
accumulates.
accumulate.
But you
a
threw away a bunch of stuff.
ton of shit. Yes. I still don't really have that much furniture.
Yeah.
Which is my
you
excuse
get a
for
couch?
not inviting people over.
I was gonna say, dude, like,
Yeah, you
bro,
gotta have your chip titty. Man.
I've been
Yeah.
back for 2 weeks, and Jay is my neighbor, and he hasn't invited me over once.
So has anyone been to your house?
Yes, but not via invite. It's like they'll just be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Can I come over and see your place?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So if you were to do that, I wouldn't deny
Yeah,
you
no,
access.
I find that very rude and imposing, and whoever in a friend group does that needs to really reconsider their actions.
I feel like I can guess who that would be. Like honestly,
Jay, real quick though, living in
Yeah.
Haebangchon, everything you wanted, you hate it,
I kind of hate it.
but you've only been there for 2 weeks.
No, I know. I'm only half serious. I do like my apartment a lot, but like one of the reasons why I lived in Mangwon was because it felt Korean, and
Yeah.
I liked the mixture of like old 할아버지 할머니es and then just like young people just
Yeah,
like
for
walking
sure.
around. But here it's just like 외국인s, and then
Yeah.
particularly when I'm going home on the weekends at night, it's just like 싸가지 없는 새끼들's on the streets, and like
Yeah, totally,
they're all
yeah.
it's
Especially
just,
because you live like when you walk to your house, you're basically passing all the trashiest bars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's
the work,
true.
like
That's
Philly's
true, yeah.
Workshop or whatever. Like
Yeah.
all those places are pretty.
Yeah.
Are icons of trashery. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why. But there are like little pockets that I'm realizing are pretty cool, because if you go up to the Haebangchon Olgori,
Yeah, at the top.
it is very Korean. and,
Right,
like,
yeah.
It's super. Yeah, there's so
just
many good
gotta
restaurants
hike
up
up
there.
there.
You mean where
I
like the
know.
parking lot is, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There's like a
Yeah.
school up there too.
Another
I
great
think.
thing though is that it's so close to Namsan.
Right.
You know, you can do.
That's true, that's really
I've been
nice.
trying to run like at least once a week
Oh shit!
to the top, and it's like a really good.
Have you been doing
nice-
that with Sue and Amy?
No, just by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think running in itself is just like kind of weird. honestly, like I just think it's a weird form of exercise.
What are you talking about, dude? It's like the most OG form of exercise.
I know, but I just think running is like so not enjoyable. I think it's one of those things where, okay, I guess if the surroundings are really nice, right? Like if you're running in like a really nice park, or
Yeah.
like, but like just like people who run like on like a treadmill or something, like it just seems so like mindless.
How do you
to
work
me.
out? What's your workout?
Yeah.
Do you work out?
Let's not get into this. It's gonna go on.
So I've been switching it up nowadays.
Okay.
So I'm really into like calisthenics now.
Hell yeah.
So like I don't really like lift weights anymore, but I'll do like a lot of like calisthenics combined with I guess more like CrossFit-y types of workouts. But I've realized that I got this thing called the Whoop. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
It's like a wearable wrist tracker thing, but it's like a fitness tracker. Okay. So it'll track a whole bunch of different things.
It's called Whoop.
Whoop.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like it's meant to like tell you like how like overtrained or undertrained your body is and how primed for recovery like your body is. So it'll tell you like, okay, today based on your sleep, heart rate variability, blah blah, like you're like primed to have like a little bit of like strain on your body, right?
1 hour later.
You guys are coming up on your year anniversary in like 2 months, right?
Are we?
I think
What,
so.
our
Your
wedding anniversary?
Well, your wedding. You guys already passed
since
your
we
actual
moved there?
anniversary, right? No, your wedding anniversary, as in like last May, is when you had your wedding.
Yeah. So our
But your
ceremony,
actual anniversary was in December, I think, right? Is that right?
November is when we like officially like signed the paperwork to become married. But yeah, it's about almost a year since we've had the wedding.
So how's been the married life? You know, is it bliss?
I'll let you go
Is it
first.
bliss?
I mean, for me, it's been wonderful, obviously. I mean, I think the best part about marriage is that like you really feel like you're in like a partnership, right? And I think it's probably the first time in my life, of course, like, I love my family and all of that, but I think it's the first time in my life where I feel like I'm genuinely like sharing a life with someone, right? In every sense of the word. And yeah, I think the feeling of like building a life together, like bit by bit, not just in terms of like finances, but just in terms of like, learning how to adapt to each other, learning from each other, like all of that has been for me like very like rewarding. I'm also someone who really like feeds off of like progress or for like perceived notions of progress. And I feel like, with like a partner in life, like a lot of that becomes much more like tangible in my opinion.
What are ways that you can monitor or like see the progress? You see what I'm
Well,
saying?
it's like, inevitably you end up having arguments, right? But you at least for me, like I can.
You're learning how to avoid arguments.
Not necessarily avoid, but I notice like the things that were making us have the arguments in the first place, and then I'm like much more aware of it now, and I actually like try to internalize it so that it doesn't happen going forward.
Yeah.
It's not just like, okay, like I feel the same way. I'm just like not going to say anything to avoid the fight. It's like I actually want to work on those things, right? Like for example, I don't pee standing up anymore.
Because you don't want to get it on the rim.
Yeah, and like I guess like if
Wait. Let's just recap that. So after I got married, I started peeing sitting
Okay,
down.
for the record, I never told you had to pee sitting
No, you
down.
never told me this, right? But like there were moments where you said like, oh, like there's been a little bit of spillage, and like what I realized is that like, okay, I could be like, like toxic masculinity about it and be like, this represents my manhood. I'm not gonna like compromise on me peeing standing up. Like that's a symbolic thing. Or I could just be like, yeah, I'll just sit down. And honestly, like I prefer it.
Now that I think about it, it's a kind of more environmentally friendly because you're not wasting like tissue wiping
clean
the,
it up.
the
Right.
rim of
Because I was
the-
gonna say like you could always
toilet.
just grab and then do the rim. That's what I
Right.
do.
Yo,
but-
and also like every time now when I flush, I put like the actual seat cover on. Have you guys seen those videos about how fucking gross it is when
I sent
heard
him some
about these.
videos.
yeah, when like the stuff comes out from
Dude,
the
it's
Yeah.
fucking
With the black light.
nasty. It's
Yeah.
fucking nasty, right? And it gets on your toothbrush and stuff. Like,
classic. That's like a classic argument between
yeah,
couples.
absolutely.
Well, speaking of classic arguments between couples, parents, friends, I thought a fun topic for today's episode would be to go to that Reddit page, Am I the Asshole? And kind of pull up some of the top stories from this month. And I'll just give you guys the log line, and then we can kind of just parse out if we think who's in the wrong here, okay? So the first one's pretty low-hanging fruit. I think it's pretty evident how to go about this, but basically this girl says, okay, she's a 22-year-old female. Her fiance is 24, and they're getting married later. She is South Indian Hindu, and he's American, okay? She wants to have a vegetarian wedding because in her culture, momentous occasions are supposed to be no meat. He's saying that I'm from the South. We eat a lot of meat. I can't imagine my wedding not at least having the option to have meat. Can we have a compromise? She's asking Reddit, am I the asshole for insisting that we follow the vegetarian diet? And that's an interesting, because that just leads into a bigger conversation of when it comes to the wedding, how much do we give how much can we give like tradition or even the parents or whoever is maybe even paying for the wedding, the ownership and the right to call these shots versus it's my day, right? Or it's our day, can we share it together? What do you guys think about this scenario?
I mean, I understand both sides. I do think that a wedding, you're bringing together two families and two different cultures in this case as well. So I think, it's fair for the man in this case to want to also bring his culture to the wedding as well and kind of have that be part of the celebration. I mean, I do think if I were her, I would have just been okay with giving guests the option because having gone through a wedding, what I feel is that a wedding is more for your guests than it is for you. Ultimately, it's for your family, it's for your friends to enjoy themselves, and I think you just want them to have the best possible time and be as comfortable as they can be. So I would say maybe she is kind of being an asshole.
All right. What do you think, Justin? You agree?
She's definitely an asshole.
I love it. I agree with my wife.
No, I mean, like, it's for the same reason, right? Like, you're probably going to realize this when, you plan your wedding, but I do really think that it's not real. You don't even have the capacity to, like, fully immerse yourself and enjoy it.
Oh, that's what everyone's been saying.
It's just, like, I respect the fact that, she wants to kind of, like, protect, I guess, her culture and like, whatever. But, it's, like, his culture, too, right? So I think just giving them the option is definitely like the right move.
I'm kind of siding with her. I think the guy's kind of an asshole. Like,
Yeah. Well, because if you marry an Indian girl, you got to understand that, like, look, the vegetarian wedding is like the first of many cultural differences you're going to have to encounter, for sure.
Yeah. However, like, she did mention that she does eat meat regularly, so, like, it's not as offensive, I guess.
Oh, she does. She eats meat.
It's just, I guess, on ceremonies or like celebrations, it's traditional to not eat meat. But it's your wedding. You're paying for the food. Like, the guests can deal with it. And usually, like, wedding food is kind of known to be not that great, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're going there to like have fun and
I can say this. Dude, we're going to do an episode about the wedding planning stuff because we're entering it this weekend.
Nice.
We're going to the venues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're going to start talking to a wedding planner next week. We have all these meetings lined up, and I'm just like, I mean, I've been of the stance of like, babe, I don't care. And to be honest, like, I know that that's kind of a half truth because obviously I do care. But it's more like, I just want to have the wedding so we can be married.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which sounds like, I don't want to say like I don't care about the wedding, but it's like the wedding is just a small blip in our life. And so I want to get moving to our life. So whatever, like if your parents want to do a Bokumbap wedding, whatever, then we'll have Bokumbap, whatever. Like I don't really mind, you know.
Yeah. But it might matter to her.
Yeah.
It might matter. Well, you know what though?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to Jaehyun that much either. We're very similar in that way.
That's good.
Yeah.
But are you guys gonna do like a Korean style wedding or like a?
Well, we'll talk about it when we decide. But I mean, we're talking to Korean venues.
Yeah.
The way that I'm looking at it is like ceremony will be quick. We'll have like a little lunch, and then we're gonna have like a mega party later that night. And then like another brunch the next day. So it's kind of like a 2-day event.
Nice.
Oh,
You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. So.
Is it going to be at Southside?
No, it's not. It's got to be a little bit bougier than that. Okay, so we've adjudicated that the girl might be a little bit of an asshole, but the husband's kind of being an asshole. Next one. This one's interesting. So this girl says, my friend is getting married. She asked me to be a bridesmaid, but said I had to cover up my tattoos because they will stick out in photographs. So the bridesmaid basically is refusing to go to the wedding, or she's like, am I the asshole for like not wanting to go if she's going to be picky about my tattoos and like make me cover them up?
I feel like this is one of those stories that probably has a lot more detail.
Yeah, sure.
You know, like
Like her
this is
tattoos are just like cocks
it's like,
and
like,
fucking
who knows, right? Like,
swastikas.
but like just at a very high level, it's kind of a weird move to tell your friend to like cover up, like she's almost like embarrassed of that side of her or something. Like if I told Jay, like, Jay, your fucking sleeve is a problem at my wedding. Like, you know, like don't be in these photos or like
Damn it, I can't wear my cutoff tuxedo.
exactly, right? Like it's just a weird move, I feel like.
Yeah.
I understand that perspective. What do you think, Elena?
I mean, she's your friend, and you should kind of embrace and accept her for who she is.
Right.
And if it really bothers you, then you shouldn't have even asked her to be a bridesmaid in the first place. You know what I mean? And I mean, another option that she would have if she was down to spend more money would be to just kind of ask them to Photoshop it, because it's kind of uncomfortable for someone to go to a wedding and have have bandages
like,
all
what are you
over
gonna
their
put on?
body.
Yeah,
You know,
I
and
mean,
people
they
are
have like
going
those
to-
basketball arm guards.
Yeah.
My friend Kristen wears that shit all the
But
time.
they're saying this is in the summer, and so I think if I were her friend, I wouldn't have even asked her to be a bridesmaid if that was a concern.
It's funny though because it reminds me of a similar ethical quandary. When one of my friends got married, they're very traditional Christian parents asked that our gay friends don't bring their significant others because which was like, okay, obviously like super bigoted, whatever.
Yeah.
But this family, you know, was very insistent on this value that like we don't care that they're gay, but we like, first of all, like boyfriends and girlfriends coming to weddings is already kind of a gray area because if they break up, who's a stranger in my wedding photographs? And that's a valid reason too, right? But it did cause like a pretty big argument, and our friend ended up not even coming because she couldn't bring her girlfriend. So,
Oh, wow, yeah.
and I know that the bride didn't feel great about that, but it was kind of like, look, that's just how it is. Like my parents aren't paying for the wedding, so it kind of came to that thing too, where it's like kind of have to honor their wishes.
That's tough.
I think,
But tattoos is easier to like be like, okay.
I feel like
let her-
tattoos is really not a big deal, but it's kind of like funny when you have a wedding, like, and if someone makes like a really lame excuse for not coming to the wedding, like,
Did you guys get any lame excuses?
we got like I got one in particular. I won't say who it is, but like it was kind of similar. It was like they had a girlfriend, like it wasn't that serious, and like we also had COVID restrictions at this time, right? So we had really like hard cap on the number of people we could invite, and I was like, and he just assumed that he could have brought, you know, and I was like, nah, like you can't bring her, and he's just like, okay, I'm not gonna come. Damn. And I was like, you little bitch, like you should have just came. Like
He could have came and just like put her in an Airbnb for 3 nights and just like partied at I'm on Kill with you guys.
I mean, but then again, to be fair, like I've missed really close friends' weddings, like because of work, and it was like a legit thing. Like I actually did have like something really, but you feel really, really bad. So I feel like, you know, in this example, like I do feel like this person is also like potentially going to regret not going to the wedding of someone they clearly are really good friends with because they, you know, obviously didn't want to, you know, cover up the tattoo.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so the bride is a asshole. Okay, next one. This one's interesting, dude. So my fiance, 27 female, and I, 29 male, grew up very differently. I'm an immigrant who moved here when I was 6. We were struggling a lot. Basically, this guy worked really, really hard to make enough money to someday afford his own house, to buy his own house. His fiance comes from a wealthier family, and basically the parents have offered to buy them a house after the wedding, but under the condition that it is under the wife's name only and that they sign a prenup before. So he's like, am I an asshole for refusing this and actually insisting that if this is a gift, I have to be part owner? What do you guys think?
Oh, he wants to be part owner.
Yeah.
He wants to be part owner.
I think he wants to, first of all, be on the actual, you know, paperwork.
No, like that's weird. Like I feel like if you didn't mention that part about him wanting to be a part owner, I would actually say like I totally respect this guy.
Well, the way he
right?
says, he goes, I refuse to live in a house that I don't own. That's in his words, which is weird because technically I guess he doesn't own it, but then again he does because he's married to the owner.
Wait, so why doesn't he just like if he saved up enough money to buy a house, why doesn't he just
I mean, he hasn't really included that much information about it, but he's saving up for a down payment to buy a house. They offer to buy them a house. Maybe there can be a compromise where he pays for half of it and then gets put on the thing. I don't know. That actually seems like a pretty open and closed case to me.
Okay. Now that I understand the situation better, actually, this dude is the asshole. Because like, I totally respect the fact that you actually want to earn and buy and earn something, right? Put in the work to do that. But like, if the principle is like, he's saving up money to buy something, like, keep saving up.
Yeah. It doesn't stop you. Buy a second house.
Just keep saving up. It's not like they're asking for that money, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, like, what's the issue? Like,
I see here that he said that if they can't call it a wedding present if it's only to one person.
like, why does it matter what's called a wedding present or not?
That's just semantics. That's just him being like, it's like two siblings fighting over like, it's my N64. It's like, no, well, I got it for my birthday. It's like, no,
you should feel entitled to
I mean, I
anything
can
anyway.
understand that, maybe he doesn't want to feel indebted to her parents and doesn't want the dynamic to change.
I can see
But
that.
at the same time, I think he also has to consider that this is something his fiance seems to be very happy about. And, if it's something that's going to make her happy, and if they're able to afford a house for her that's going to, that she's going to love and, be really excited about, then he also needs to think about her feelings too, right?
Yeah.
it's shocking how a lot of these I feel like can be solved with like just basic Nietzsche, just you know what I mean, and just like kind of being like thinking about what they would think too. A lot of the comments for some of these have been like, they're such the asshole because like if they wanted this, they shouldn't have done that. Like that's such an American like. If they wanted you to like forgive them, they shouldn't have been assholes in the first place. But like that's such a circuitous logic, right? It's like that's not what forgive means, right? And I've just noticed that a lot of, I assume they're Americans, like have that mentality, which isn't necessarily the case for, I think, in Korean culture. But okay, that one sounds pretty open and shut. This next one's funny. Basically, 39-year-old female yelled at her husband, 34-year-old male, because he has an alarm that goes off at 6, then 6:30, then 7, then 7:30, and finally he wakes up at 8.
At 8?
Oh my God.
Just 5 alarms?
Yeah, or something like that.
Fuck, why?
So, and she's just like, why the fuck would you insist on doing it this way? Like, learn how to get up at the right time. What is everyone's thoughts?
Why does he need 5 alarms?
Yeah.
Like, why?
I mean, I know
like-
people like that.
Yeah, I do like a alarm like if I need to wake up at 8, then I'll do like one at like 7:30, 7:45. But I live by myself.
But you live by yourself, exactly.
If I knew that
It's like,
someone
look,
was-
if Justin lived by himself, he'd be peeing all over the toilet soon, right? And like, we already covered
yeah,
this.
there's compromise.
Standing
And-
up.
Yeah, like
I would stand up for myself in the toilet.
But I mean, come on, 6:30. You're starting your alarms at like 6, and then waking up at 8.
that's
like,
egregious.
come on.
Yeah.
He's the asshole,
Yeah.
especially if his wife wakes up later.
Yeah.
And you can just get one of those, like, they have those alarms now that's like vibration only. Like my Whoop. My Whoop has that.
Do you work for Whoop?
My Whoop has like the vibration thing. So like, when you wear it, like, and if you set your alarm, it'll wake you up. It'll wake you up like
I
by
see.
vibration,
I
right?
see.
Yeah.
So you're not just like, like.
They also have alarm clocks that have wheels and they run away from you.
Oh, so you have to like get out of bed to turn
right,
it
They
on.
have creative types of alarm clocks.
Dude, human beings are so spoiled.
Or you can just put the alarm clock in like another room. Like the alarm, and it like forces you to get up.
I think he should sleep with the like AirPods in.
Just all night, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy's an asshole.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
This next one also, I feel like, I don't know. So basically, a guy's 18-year-old daughter moved out for college, okay? And then basically he remodeled the house to take down the wall from her room to make their living room bigger without telling her. And she's pissed because she's like, you guys don't even want me to come home anymore. And she's taking it very personally. So he's asking, is he the asshole for remodeling the house without telling his daughter?
So wait, she's off to college.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an asshole move to remodel the room. I think it's an asshole move to not even give her a heads up.
Yeah.
And not even allow her to maybe even have one last, like, because also when you go off to college, this is the first time that you're living away from home, and inevitably people feel homesick.
Right.
And when they kind of want to feel a sense of home when
Yeah.
they go see their parents.
Right.
So I think it's, Yeah, I think it was kind of an asshole move.
I agree. I think it was kind of assholey. What do you think, Justin?
I agree. I do. But if you think about it logically, like at max, she's gonna come home like twice a year, right? Or like three. I don't know how far she lives, but like they also should feel like they could utilize that space for something that's better, right?
Right.
Like, so I would have for sure given her a heads up, but like practically speaking, like it's like their prerogative to
Totally,
like
totally.
yeah. It's I don't think it's that. Like,
I mean, like parents downsize all the time when they have empty nest.
No, for sure,
Yeah.
Yeah, remodeling makes complete sense. It's all about the not communicating that they're going
Right.
to do
Right,
that to the
right.
daughter. Sounds like they don't love her.
Honestly, yeah.
a
It
lot
sounds
of
like they
other
just
problems
don't like their
going on.
daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel that this is also like a Western type of way of adulting, you know, where after the kid turns 18, it's like,
Yeah. You're on
bye,
your own.
you're
That's
on your
super
own.
Western.
Yeah.
Like, your house, our house is not your house anymore.
Yeah, it's not like
you
Korean
know?
culture where like Jaehyun's childhood room is like the same as she left it when she was 18. I swear to God.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
No, but I have white friends whose parents are really well off and they make their kid go into like student debt. It's
Yeah.
like a principle thing.
Sure.
See, I respect that though.
I do, I
Yeah.
do too, but I just think it's interesting, right? Because
Yeah,
it's so
it is
different from
interesting.
Asian parents.
Yeah.
Very
where,
different, yeah.
Like I know Asian dudes who are like 35 and still live off their parents,
Yeah.
like completely, no
Yeah.
shame, right?
Yeah.
And it's like not socially unacceptable either. Like
Yeah.
people are just very like aware of the fact that this person's lifestyle and like their like income it like doesn't add up, right? But
It reminds me of another one I read that I didn't put up here, but it was like, I'm from an Asian country. My older brother's fiance or my older brother's wife doesn't have a job. My older brother works a very minimum wage job. They get support from my parents. And she wants to do she wants to freeze her eggs. It's very expensive. And she's asking my parents for like, whatever, $30,000 to do it. They don't have the money. So she asked me, the younger sister. And I told her, you shouldn't think about having kids if you can't afford it to do it yourself. Everyone in the family, including the parents, got really mad at the sister for saying this to the older sister-in-law. And so the girl posted, am I the asshole for saying that to my sister-in-law? And I said, fuck no, dude. I feel like anyone who gets handouts cannot be entitled to getting more handouts, right?
I mean, also to ask the younger sister,
Yeah, right? It's like super weird.
it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it's weird. Like, it's not something I would ever do. Like, I would feel very uncomfortable asking for, like, my parents' help in something that's just my conscious decision and it's really just for me. But then again, I think, like, if I were a parent, like, if Gomtae could talk and she asked me for something, like, I think I would never say no to her.
Oh, God. You're going to be such a
Actually.
pushover, huh?
Like if
Is he,
Gomtae...
you think he's going to be a pushover dad?
No, I don't think I'll be a pushover. I think there's gonna have to be like a.
I feel like you're gonna be this kind of dad. You're gonna like have outrageous punishments, but also you're gonna be such a softie. You know what I mean?
Outrageous
Your
punishments.
son is gonna resent you, and your daughter is gonna be like, "I love my dad." Like that's the energy.
Yeah, the daughters, you're definitely going to have a soft spot.
And your son's gonna be like, "Dad, help me out with college." You'd be like, "You're gonna take out a loan. I don't care how much money I have."
No, I think there just has to be a good rationale for wanting like help on something. Like I will always like want my like children to be able to justify like why they need something, right? But
you have to like apply for a loan. Yeah,
I think there has to be like a proposal sort of thing, right? But
that's such an Asian dad thing, though.
but it's interesting because I would never do that to my parents. But like looking at it from the parents' side of things,
Yeah.
I could kind of understand why they would get mad
Yeah.
essentially in this scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that they also add like how old they are because some of these are like, yeah, I'm 22 and marrying a 24-year-old and he's acting like an asshole. It's like, yeah, obviously because he's 24. Like, what do you
Okay,
expect?
So question, right? In this scenario, like the parents got mad, right? But in Asian culture, like a lot of parents want like their kids to get married and have children.
I think it's
not just for like altruistic purposes, but also because they want to like be able to brag to their
Totally.
friends.
And I think a big part of it's like
Yeah.
the only son needs to have a baby.
Exactly.
His wife needs to do this egg thing because, yeah, so it's more of a family thing. I think
Exactly,
that's-
right?
yeah.
Like our family needs to like, like not fall behind or
Right.
whatever, right? So I guess like if you look at it more cynically, it could also be coming from this place where it's in their self-interest, essentially.
But if you think about it, I mean, freezing you didn't really share why she wants to freeze them.
So in the post, it said that they had been trying to have children for 3 years. It's not working out, so they want to do like in vitro or something like that, right?
I see.
Something like that. But they're also, I mean, what your point about it being a cultural thing actually makes the most sense. It's like the parents are probably just like, we need to have a grandchild. It's going to cost $30,000. We only have 15. You should pitch in 5. It's for the family. I can also see the younger sister being like, not my family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, like, my sister-in-law doesn't work. She just sits at home all day while bro just works at fucking convenience store or whatever the fuck. Like, that's a bad look too, right? So I
Yeah.
don't know. What do you think, Jay?
It's tough, but I'm siding with the Magna here. It's the
The
younger
family's
sister.
out of line.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, come on, you gotta. It's her own life. Like,
And she can choose what she wants to do with her hard-earned money.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
Totally
there's part of me that's like, you know, when you read these posts, you have to assume they're omitting anything that may make them look bad.
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
honest.
that's true.
And like for all we know, like the parents maybe are giving her like a crazy allowance too. You know what I mean? Like especially when I was in college, I would meet people who would get like 10 racks a month from their parents for allowance, and they graduated with like, you know, $100,000 in the bank. You know, just because they had this insane allowance. And I was like, okay, like, so that if someone in the family were to hit them up for like, yo, let me get like 20 G's, like I feel like it'd be weird to be like, no. You know, like, this is mine. But I don't really know how that kind of allowance works. Because, like, I'm just blown away that they make more money.
I had a friend whose dad set up this thing for them where every time they hit below 1K, 10K would be added to the account. Oh, shit. It was like a rolling thing.
So they would just, like, go and withdraw 9
Get a
G's.
second
Yeah.
account.
And this
Like,
idiot also told everyone about this, so people would like you know,
Abuse
just
it.
like
Oh.
exploit that, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't even know that was possible, like to set up like this recurring thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just like every time it fell below a K, it would just like go back up.
You now have $10,999 in your
Yeah.
bank account. Oh, dude, that's the best. That's the best hack. Oh, my God, I want it. Okay, so... little sister, you are not the asshole. Last one, guys. This is my favorite one. Pasta sink. So basically, college best friend invites her college best friend and the husband over for dinner, cooks pasta, but drains it directly into the sink, the pasta, instead of through a colander. And then the college best friend and her husband refuse to eat it because it's dirty, quote unquote.
Wait, what?
So that's... Yeah, I'll just kind of read more of it. So,
Okay, so instead of using a colander,
What the fuck did I just hear?
yeah, I'm hearing this right. Like she's just pouring the entire pasta into the sink.
yeah.
and then
Grabbing it.
somehow.
There
and
is
putting it.
no
What?
chance I am eating that shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like no matter how clean your sink is,
She does say like the sink was really clean, but like
That's-
still wouldn't want to eat it. But this is funny. But then the friend who did the sink pouring goes, "I don't own a colander. I'm not like rich or whatever."
it's like $3.
Yeah.
It's like a class. Well, basically, she also says like my dad did this way growing up. This is how I learned how to drain pasta, which is like hilarious and like white trashy as fuck. And we can't fault her for that, right? I personally would have just eaten it because I love pasta and I don't really give a shit. But I understand why someone would refuse to eat that.
I think it would, for me, personally depend on who the friend is. If it were somebody
diplomatic, yeah.
who I was more concerned about not hurting their feelings, if I wasn't as close with them, like if it was one of Justin's friends or something, then I don't know if I would be able to speak up and say, I'm not going to eat that.
Yeah.
But if it was a close friend, I would be like, I'm sorry, I'm
That's
not
fair.
eating that.
Yeah, if it's your
Yeah.
best friend too,
Yeah.
you'd be like, bro,
Yeah.
gross. I'm not. Yeah,
I can't
100%.
I can't. This is the most like.
That is
this
funny,
Is such
though.
a like.
Yeah.
This is nasty, in my opinion.
It's
like,
gross.
This is like I forget who told us that they like what they didn't use toilet paper and they used their hands to wipe their
It's
ass.
fucking Khaled, dude.
Was it? What?
I'm pretty sure it was
no,
Khaled.
it wasn't Khaled.
I know who it is, but I don't know. Oh.
Yeah, but you know.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like when I heard that, I was like, "Yo, this is some like."
Next
to me, this is the
level.
equivalent of that, right? Like, this is just weird. Like,
Yeah. And also, like, you know, theoretically, you can start to drain the water
Yes.
with, like,
Yes.
chopsticks or something and like, maneuver.
There's multiple ways you can do it.
You don't have to
You
pour
don't-
everything
like,
in the
what
sink.
the fuck? And also you're wasting the pasta water, which you might need.
Yeah, which is
for
very
the
valuable,
sauce
actually.
later.
We're deducing
Like,
that this
come
person does
on.
not know how to cook.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're just going to
clearly.
throw some ragu on some dirty ass noodles and call it a day.
I have
Like
a feeling that
ragu, like
that
brand
pasta would have
ragu,
tasted
yeah.
like shit
Yeah,
anyway,
Yeah.
Sure.
regardless of whether they used a colada or not.
Yeah.
This
Fair
is the
enough.
wildest one. I've never heard of anyone doing this.
It does
Like,
remind me of a time when I was, me and Emma were doing a homestay in Paris when we were studying abroad. And our host mother was, we were so excited to have like a French host family because we're like, oh, the food's going to be so good. She was a terrible cook.
Oh, no.
I remember there were points in the meal where she served us at one point chicken where part of it was raw. And it was one of those things where we weren't comfortable enough to say something. So I remember Emma like cutting off a piece and like kind of holding it in her hand on the table for the rest of the meal. Oh my God,
that's so funny.
I also ate some like fruit that had an ant in it because I just felt really uncomfortable saying something. So I think if it were that type of situation, honestly, if it were my French host mother doing this, I don't think I would have the balls to say something and say
yeah.
that I'm not eating it.
Yeah.
But
It does depend on how well you know the person. But yeah.
Yeah.
If it's your close friend. Wait,
I guess it won't kill you.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw this.
Honestly, who knows? Like,
No. I saw this video on Instagram of this food scientist putting a bunch of shit under microscopes. He's like basically informing that like FDA,
Yeah.
I guess, allows for like 4 rodent turds per packet of like sugar.
What?
Yeah, and like you're allowed
What?
like some foods actually come with like dead cockroaches in it, and you're allowed to do that for a certain like volume. And I was like obviously horrified, but then I was going through the comments, and it's like, yeah, but then you got to think about like we're an agrarian society, we're agrarian people. Like everything we ever grew probably had bugs in it. Everything we ate, we
Yeah.
probably slept with bugs crawling into our mouths, for most of
Yeah.
millennia. So it's like, yeah, I think we can handle some dirt in our food, essentially.
yeah, I mean, I think so. I think the bigger problem is when like companies are just legitimately trying to trick consumers. Like, like Tic Tacs, like, Tic Tacs say like sugar free, but it like for sure has sugar. It's just that each pill of Tic Tac, there's such like if you look at it on an absolute basis, there's like, I think there's just say the requirement to like, or the minimum is like 1 milligram of sugar or something. It's like less than that because the Tic Tacs are so small. But if you add it up, there's like a ton of sugar in there.
Right. If you eat a whole thing of Tic Tacs.
Yeah, and then you can call it sugar free. Even like that new soju that came out in Korea, it's like Hero or something. If you look at it, like the second ingredient in that is like stevia.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, technically it's not sugar, but there's a shit ton of sweetener.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like it's all like very misleading.
Yeah.
Gotta love
Marketing.
food science. Yeah, marketing.
Food science.
Just trying to figure out like a good sort of closing out because I put some.
Oh, that's Chris's.
What?
This
Project,
is an
yeah.
outline that Chris put up secretly, and then like was like, go find it on the outline. I had to like scroll through 50 fucking pages to find this outline.
It's like a separate.
It's a separate episode. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
But
Never mind then.
I mean, we could try doing like 1 or 2 just for fun. So the premise of this episode, which we are going to do in its entirety at some point, is that Chris, our former intern, put a bunch of things that are kind of like Karen behaviors or like kind of assholey behaviors, but it's more like on whether you think it's assholey behavior. For example, like when you're trying to get a cab and you go downstream of someone to catch it. Like we've all kind of done that.
Yeah.
Even like accidentally or on purpose. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
It's an asshole thing until I do it myself.
Yeah, because I've definitely done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the only time I did that the other day, but it's like I was technically in front of and then so like the cab was coming, and so yeah, I'm like in front of them. So then I like waved
Yeah.
the cab down.
Like it wasn't your fault. You weren't
Yeah.
trying to snake them.
Yeah, and then I just walked to it and like ignored their existence to just like I just pretended like they weren't there. So then I just went inside.
Yeah. There have been so
Yeah.
many nights in Itaewon trying to get a cab, and like
Yeah.
everyone's failing.
Yeah.
But at that point, the cabs are just slowing down, rolling down their window, and asking you like where you want
Yeah.
to go and how much you're going to pay them.
Yeah.
So
You
at
feel
that
like a
point, it's crap.
hooker.
I know,
How much?
dude. Oh my god, that's exactly.
And this
it.
happened to me once in New York where like I was waiting for a cab and then some dude literally like as I was like hailing it, he he literally caught me, and like before I even had a like chance to react, he like swooped in, and I remember he said like, "Sorry, Jeremy," and then got in the car.
Like
yeah.
Jeremy Lin?
Yeah.
What? So
He's
he
just
was
like,
an asshole and a racist?
Oh,
He's just like,
no.
"Sorry, Jeremy," and then he just like got in and left.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's like this like white dude
Oh,
with like a
God.
vest, you know, like
with the vest.
But question for you guys: what's the biggest asshole move you've ever pulled?
I'm kind of an angel, so I don't
Nah,
know if
Jay
that I've
definitely
ever
has.
been.
But in secret when no one else is watching.
The biggest asshole move, I think, I was young though. I was like in 6th grade. I took a Pidgeotto Pokemon card. I drew a little star in the corner where that you would have like the first edition icon. You guys remember how Pokemon cards would be more valuable if they had like a first edition icon?
Did they have like 1 out of like 150
They
or
did.
something like that?
There was all
Yeah.
these like weird things that like could make it more valuable. And I
Right,
just
right.
drew a star with a black Sharpie and convinced this kid that it was like a special edition Pidgeotto.
super
And I sold it
This
for like
is-
$50.
This is just straight up
Yeah.
fraud.
Yeah, it was
That is
fraud.
asshole.
I committed fraud, and I honestly think that's probably the most asshole thing I've done.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's pretty bad, but it's impressive you haven't had anything worse since 6th grade.
I don't really think so, man. Like, well, actually, okay. I'll conclude it with this. I have a story I'll tell, and you guys can tell me if I'm the asshole.
Okay.
We'll end it on this, okay? So, before I went to the States, I had texted a close friend of mine who I'd normally stay with, and he's been very gracious as a good friend of mine. He would like pick me up from the airport. He like lives, close enough where it's not too inconvenient for him. He lives in a big house, a lot of extra bedrooms. So, part of me was kind of like assuming, but more hoping that I could stay with him. So I sent him this text. Hey, bud, I'm going to be in California from these days to these days, but I'm going to have to fly down to see my parents on this day. So I was wondering, like, if you could pick me up from the airport on this day and I can, like, crash with you for a day or two. And, like, if you could also drive me to the airport on this day. Stuff like that, right? It was pretty long.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking
Yeah.
good. But I ended the text with, obviously, like, no worries if you can't. I'm just putting this on your radar, okay? And then he replies back, LOL. Okay? And then I go, oh, ha, 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 I guess you don't want to pick me up or something like that. And he basically does not reply. He ignores my text completely. I text him the next day, a long apologetic text. Hey, man, I never wanted to come across as ungrateful or like assuming anything. I obviously really appreciate it. I was trying to like be funny about it, but reading it back, I sound like so entitled. Big sorry. Just still want to let you know my dates. Love you. Leaves me on red, doesn't respond. I get engaged. He looks at my stories, doesn't say anything. He looks at Jay's stories, doesn't say anything. And then right before I land in California, finally he texts me, I'm not even going to be in town during those days, so I wouldn't have been able to anyway.
If I were your friend, I would have been really annoyed. I think I would have been really annoyed.
Okay.
About like just like these lists of like
Like do this, and
like
this.
favors that you're asking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be quite honest.
So I'm the asshole.
You were the asshole.
Yeah. But if I send that sweet apology, not waiting a beat,
Sweet
I
apology.
sent the apology really fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was like a week later being like, oh, you didn't reply, and then like a week later, I
Yeah.
guess I'm sorry. Like I kind of recognized it pretty quick.
Right. Yeah, and also like I don't know this person. I don't know your guys' relationship, and I haven't read the text. So maybe you were being funny, and if I read it, I would have laughed or something. But
I was definitely being funny.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah.
I think I would have been annoyed by the first text, but I think after you sent the apology, at least
Yeah.
giving an acknowledgement of it, I think would have been the right thing to do, in my opinion. So it was kind of mean that he sort of ghosted you
Yeah.
after that.
It did hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
But basically, like, my opinion is that actually he's the asshole. Because, okay, so say if you did this to me, right? And by all accounts, it sounds like him and you might even be closer than me and you, right? But if you did this to me, I would send you a text saying like, haha, fuck off. Basically,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like who do you think you are? Like, or like just LOL, right? Like, but not in like a passive aggressive way, but I'll just be like, no, basically.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you sent like, and your apology like made sense. Like, you know, it's just like, hey, I was just kind of trying to be funny, but like, you know, and you apologize like genuinely. I don't know. If you did that to me, like it would be annoying for sure because I would never do that. Like I wouldn't like no, like I just wouldn't, right? But like I wouldn't make that big of a deal.
But I think if you don't want to do something, you can just say.
That's what I mean.
But I
That's
think
a good point.
But
That's
I think
yeah.
also now, that's true.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't ask you because I know you'd be like, haha, no, dude. Like maybe one of those things I could help you out, but I'm not gonna like.
No,
do your-
I would
Yeah.
pick you up from the airport,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
I'm not like
Gotta take me
like
around.
taking you back. Like no.
No,
like,
totally.
like,
And I think now that I think, zoom back out again, it's like he's been so that's what I apologize for. Is like I know that you've helped me out a lot and always been there, and like it's not like I ever show up empty-handed. I always bring gifts for his family and stuff. Like I'm trying to have the nunchi, but I do think that he's a friend where I'd be like, he would do that for me because he's done it before. And I think that's my error, right? Is
That's
like,
your error.
That's my
your
error,
error,
right?
yeah.
Of like, oh, well, he did it
Assuming.
before, so like
Yeah.
he should want to do it again, right? So that's where clearly I was the asshole, but
No, but if you're really good friends, you just be like, no, like just
Yeah.
like but it's a weird thing to like be like super butthurt.
but that's the thing. It's like, with friends, with family, with lovers, it's like those little things that could just drive you effing insane. That for other friends you would totally let it slide because it doesn't matter as much, I guess. So I can see.
Okay, I can see the one exception being if you've pulled this shit a lot before, and if this was sort of like the
A
straw that
pattern.
broke the camel's
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
right?
I mean, he
in that
did-
situation, like maybe it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay. Well, buddy, if you're listening, I'm very sorry. I am an asshole. He's definitely like hosted me and my two girlfriends before, so like he's looked out for a long time. Anyway, all right, I have a lot of thinking to do. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Side Dish Podcast. Please like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at _the Side Dish, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.
TSD.
Bye.